Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. 'Tis the season for peace, love, joy, and ham. And in this video, I'm going to prepare a traditional Christmas ham in a non-traditional way. But if you try it, I reckon you'll love it. First things first, of course, get the smoker fired up. While that's happening, I've got a 6 kilo ham from Meat at Billy's, best butcher in Brisbane. Check him out for whatever you need this Christmas. First thing you need to do is separate the rind from the fat. Now, this is really easy to do just with your fingers. You can slip your fingers underneath the rind, slowly work your way backwards, and it will tear away. Take your time and be gentle with it. And then when it gets to the ham hock at the end, you can use scissors or a knife to cut around that bone. Throw the rind away. You won't need it for this. Then we've got to score the fat, only going about 2 or 3 millimeters deep. You don't want to cut all the way through to the meat. Going to do it in a classic diamond pattern, and then got to add cloves. Now, I have to say, I love cloves. I'll eat them straight out of the jar. I love picking them off the ham once it's cooked at the end. If you don't like a strong clove flavour, maybe use a few less or take them off the ham at the end before you shred it. Once that's done, time to add the glaze. Using a whole grain mustard here, you could use Dijon if you like. Just apply that fairly liberally, and I'll explain why at the end. Adding some brown sugar, no salt. Ham is salty enough on its own. You don't need to add any extra salt in this recipe. And then finishing it off with apricot jam or an apricot preserve. You can use peach, you can use any number of jams for this recipe. Looks a little chunky and a little rustic, but again, I'll explain why at the end. At this point, make sure the smoke is not too hot. You want it to sit at about 225 degrees because the ham's going to be in there for a while. Add your baking tray in, add the ham in, and let it go. I'm going to smoke it for about 3 to 4 hours. And once every hour, just lift the lid up, and I've pre-mixed some of that glaze already. Mustard, brown sugar, and apricot preserve. Just apply a little bit extra just to keep it topped up. I should say, if you don't feel like making your own, I highly recommend the Meat at Billy's peach and mustard ham glaze, ready to go straight out of the jar. It's fantastic. Once you've let that smoke for a few hours, 3 hours, looks something a bit like this. 4 hours, looks even better. You want to keep smoking it until it reaches about 165 Fahrenheit internal. Going to add some apple juice to the bottom of that baking tray. Double wrap it in alfoil and then smoke it for round about another 3 hours. If you want to make it faster, you can turn the temperature up a little more. After 7 hours of total cooking, this is the result that you get. Looks fantastic. Really nice bark on the outside, but the glaze has caramelized really well. And now for the not so traditional serving method. We're going to pull the bones out. If any meat is still sticking to those bones, you'll be able to just shred that with your fingers. I like to put it into a food safe container just to contain all the mess. And I'll mention at this point, if you're going to do it this way, you really want to get yourself some good heat-proof wet gloves. Like the fire slap ones I'm using here, they can handle hot steam and hot meat and keep your hands safe as well. This ham is just going to fall apart. You can literally shred it with your fingers, as you can see here. Not the traditional way of serving it, but then we add back in that apple juice and any remaining glaze, and that's why I was pretty liberal with the glaze at the start. It's now going to mix through and flavour all the meat. Serve this on Christmas Day. It's not traditional, but I guarantee you'll love it.